So, Nick, the Democrats,
our favorite show people.
Yeah, no, they're actually being stupid. And I've never saw anything this ignorant before in my life. And this is something that I really don't wish on anybody to witness. And I did retweet this. I said, I now know pain, I now know fear, and I worry for the future. Idiocracy is a documentary. Idiocracy is real. And these are our Democrat lawmakers who chose to do the Super Mario Smash Brother intro. Now, I'm keeping this mute because of copyright music. I don't want to get struck. I really don't. But if I had to witness it, so do all of you. And prepare yourselves, people. And hold on. It looks like it's not showing. Let me just stop sharing and once again bring up. Sorry about that, folks. Let's go ahead and bring it up here for everybody to see. So apologies for that. So there you go. Choose your fighter. There's AOC, New York's 14th congressional district, youngest woman plus Latina to be elected to the House, Trekkie. The first one, bento box queen, mommy of the century, sleep deprived. What is this? What is this? What is this? Why? Rep. Laura Underwood, youngest black woman elected to Congress, co-founded the Black Maternal Office, hates balloons. What? Hates balloons. Representative Catherine Clark, House Minority Whip, Massachusetts 5th Congressional District, not into hair dye. Oh, God, hold on. Wait, who is that one? Rep. Judy Chu, California's 28th Congressional District, first Chinese-American woman elected to Congress, too sweet. Okay. Representative Jasmine Crockett, Texas 30th Congressional District, public defender plus attorney, not a morning person. Rep. Susan Lee, Nevada's 3rd Congressional District, president of Communities Schools of Nevada, 2 sprained fingers. Choose your fighter. Oh, God.
Those fingers are sprained because she's punching wrong.
Yeah, exactly. How you punch, how you kick. What is this? What is this madness? So there's a reason to this method because I've been noticing a trend with Democrats, and that is their consistency in lying. Most notably, our good man Bernie.
We're going to take on the military-industrial complex and end endless wars. When we threaten and, in fact, cut back on military support or intelligence support for Ukraine. You know what we are telling that one man? We are saying, you got a green light. The United States is withdrawing. You do what you want. You continue the war. You continue to pummel the people of Ukraine. We're going to take on the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, there's that. And then, of course, Cory Booker. Wait, prepare yourself for this. Because we're going to break it down, because I want to get your thoughts on this.
People feel angry, and they feel angry. They feel like no one's hearing their anger.
Yes.
And it's frustrating. You sat there for 2 hours. I'm tired. I assume you're tired.
You know what's so funny is
He said, I'm not tired. I'm ready to go.
I'm
ready to go.
What are you
I'm
doing?
ready to go. I'm ready to go.
I'm charged up.
I like that.
Yeah, seriously, I'm charged up.
I like
Like, this guy should not. They want to overwhelm you. They want to
well,
paralyze
that's the
you.
goal.
They
That's the
want to
goal.
overwhelm you, paralyze you, and make you feel like you
It's
can't.
chaos. Make it. That's the entire
Yes.
goal. Like I talk consistently about
What is this?
velocity, like lying. Chaos is the point, so you feel like
Yes.
you have no control.
Their leaders have literally said in his cabinet, we want to traumatize
Yes.
them, traumatize
Yes.
you, so that you can't fight back. But I know our history.
That's right.
We have literally said, Fannie Lou, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
That's right.
We have Frederick Douglass. If there is no struggle, there is no progress.
That's right.
We know we are here because of people who were fed up and said, no matter what I'm going to do, I'm going to crawl, I'm going to walk, I'm going to run, but I'm going to go and do something.
That's right. Now I'm ready to run through a brick wall.
Let's do it.
Let's get it done.
Let's do it.
I appreciate you.
Let's
Thank you very much.
That's the do something, run through a brick wall.
Yeah.
Yes, run through a brick wall, punch around, and act like a clown. And so the thing is, what we need to realize, and I want to give a huge shout out to a couple of my audience members that are saying that Democrats haven't really changed. They've been acting the same way since Biden was president. But this is supposed to inspire people and get people to vote, or either that continue donating to the Democrats. This is not how you inspire people. We did a segment a week ago with Chuck Schumer unable to answer on Morning Joe's show. How is it that you're going to resume a presence in Washington, D.C. if the leadership has no plan? And there isn't a plan. I mean, after November 5th, you were co-hosting with the show with us when we did election night. And it was abundantly clear that Democrats not only lost the presidency, but they lost the House, they lost the Senate. And now we are witnessing act like complete clowns, trying to inspire people and thinking that they're going to fight against Trump, especially after their epic fail during Trump's joint session speech. Take it away.
I mean, I could talk about this for the whole show. There's so much to break down here. One, I just want to say the Trump victory back in November was so clear. And I was on the show with you. And if you remember correctly, I said he's going to take all the swing states because it's so clear that the Democrats lack any foundational values. It's so clear that they have absolutely no substance. And when you look at that video of the women in Congress, pick your fighter, the only thing relatable was the one that said, I'm not a morning person, because I'm not a morning person either. But other than that, that thing is so out of touch, so substanceless. And the fact that they got rolled all across all three levels of government, and they're out here doing, and I'm fine with fun videos, but you've got to make that case to the American people that you have something that you're going to fight for and do. We've had, at this point, 10 years of resistance against Trump, and has done absolutely nothing but give us 4 years of Joe Biden, who did absolutely nothing that led us back to another 4 years of Donald Trump. So the fact that there's no autopsy again, the fact that there's no retro reflection again, the fact that I have to watch Bernie Sanders out there giving the same stump speech over and over and over, now also for 10 years, the fact that he's 83 years old, he's the only one who's out there saying anything of substance, and we all know that he doesn't have the backbone or the wherewithal to do it. And even if he did have the ability to take over the party, he's not running again in 2028. So what are they doing? What's the plan? It's literally to sit back and hope that the Republicans completely screw themselves over. And that's not happening. Like, it's just not happening. And the people are sick and tired of having the conversation be around the culture war. Like, we're past it. We're past the culture war. It's time for the Democratic Party to just go away and stop wasting my time with these cringe videos. And the other thing I want to say, and then I'll hand it over to you and I'll shut up for a minute here, but when I see that pick your fighter video and I see Cory Booker out there jumping around about absolutely nothing, and Bernie Sanders just shilling for military money and war, it's just, I feel like I'm in some sort of alternate universe where, who are the people that relate to this? I want to go through and see the people that like these things and figure out, like, what is going on in your life that you think this is the way to fight back and resist politically, because those people need a stern talking to and to wake the F up.
Right. I do agree. I do agree. And the issue is that we're seeing here now is that when we have the Democrats consistently show their full-on failure, this was the liberal plan. And now that their entire play out, their entire strategy has been revealed, I mean, it's not going to bring in progressives or independents because we have been kicked out. And the Democrats made it very clear to every single one of us that we are not allowed to be critical of the party or of the leadership. And when you had somebody like Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer, especially in 2016, dictating the terms of how the party's going to be run and how they're going to be electing their presidential nominees, nobody with a proper conscience can be associated with this. I mean, electoral politics, we can't vote our way out of it if this is what the quote unquote resistance is. And in here as well, I want to pull up this article, and hopefully there won't be any technical delays.
Can I add one more piece to that, if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the other thing is, like, you look at what has happened with the leadership at the DNC, and you had 2016. What did they do? They routed Bernie through the media. They just didn't show him until it was absolutely undeniable. Who knows what else besides that, and the Podesta emails and how they were rigging it through the media, rigging it through the DNC. And then you go to 2020 and they can't really stop the progressive movement, right? You know, where Bernie wins the first 3 states, looking like it's going to be a complete landslide. They can't control the narrative anymore. So what do? They rig it by taking every single candidate in that primary, having them drop out and endorse Biden. So looks like everybody in the party then is against the progressive movement. They do it there. What comes up in 2024? They try to push Joe, who couldn't string a sentence together if his life depended on it, across the finish line. That didn't work. So what'd they do? They hung him out to dry. So they could do what? Insert their own candidate while ignoring the fact that there was a primary going on with what's his name? Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson, and RFK Jr. Completely ignore that, who, by the way, I cast my vote for one of those candidates in the primary. That didn't count. And then they insert Kamala Harris. So they've just progressively, each primary, gotten to the point where it's just out in the open. They're inserting a candidate. Your vote doesn't count. It doesn't matter when it should matter most, which is in the primary when you select a candidate. So to me, this party is not going to be redeemed. There may be a progressive that comes out of this. There may be someone who can unite the liberals who love those videos and the people like us that are over it, but they're never going to gain power. They're not going to be allowed to. They're not going to be able to. And we learned in the lawsuit back after the 2016 election that they can choose their candidate in a smoke-filled room if they decide that's what they want to do, because they're a private organization. So anyone who is in this party, anybody who is thinking that this party is going to solve our problems, this party is going to make our lives better, this party is going to give us an economy that works for us, this party is going to redistribute any kind of wealth into the people that need it in this country, to the 600,000 plus homeless people that we have floating around. They're delusional. It's Delulu. And we can't sit here and try to reform a party or enable a party that is doing these stupid videos that have absolutely no substance. And so I'm done with it. I'm sick of it. I actually don't even want to talk to people that support this anymore, because I think they're too far gone. And the fact that now, because of some of the things that I have that used to be my very progressive and independent beliefs, now have me labeled as alt-right, it's a complete flip and 180. And like, people that don't see this at this point, like, I don't even know what to tell them anymore. Like, it's idiocracy. Like you said, these videos are crazy. They're like parodies.
It is. And I can remember a point in time, like when the Republican Party was doing cringe, stupid things like this. And, you know, obviously, yes, Republican lawmakers are still going to be doing stupid things. And yes, you have dumb Republican lawmakers. You have idiots on both sides of the aisle. But there was that point, that liberal propaganda. Oh, the Democrats, they're smart. By the way, Nick, tell us how you really feel about the Democrats. Shout out to everybody here. Yeah, it's mandatory thumbs up for Nick Thompson. That's why I wanted to make sure we had a special Friday show. But there's also another problem here, Nick, and that is, folks, Democrats divided over way forward under Trump, because they could wear their pink suits. I don't know if you saw that joint session of Congress speech. Did you happen to see any of it?
Of course I did.
Yes. You had Representative Green scream out. Again, I thought that was the most hilarious presidential speech to Congress in a long time.
Oh, me too. I was laughing so hard.
You had people screaming out from the resistance. You had people wearing pink shirts and pink jackets and, you know, standing up against Trump. And then, of course, you had them holding up their signs, which is, again, knowing the internet. All what somebody has to do is take a screenshot, erase what's written on those signs, and put it on something else.
It's a meme.
Yeah.
You know what I think is?
Go ahead.
we don't have to go into the whole State of the Union, but what I think
it wasn't a State of the Union. It was a joint session of Congress.
Or, yeah.
Even I made that mistake.
And State of the Union too. The signs. The thing with the signs of resistance, they're looking for a viral moment. They're not actually going to do anything with that viral moment. It's fake. It's not substance. There is no substance.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Democrats are struggling with which direction to take their party amid President Trump's turbulent return to office, noting the hard right turn of the country. No, it's not really. Some operatives say the party swung too far left, alienating moderates and handing Republicans firepower. Oh, really? But others say the progressive movement is where the energy is and where it will continue to be in the future. Part of the reason we are where we are is because our party became almost too big tent, and we sort of lost our way, one Democrat strategist said. No, it's become too centralized, too neoliberal. At the same time, more centrists say they don't recognize the Democrat Party anymore and don't identify with it. The standard operating framework is no longer working, and Democrats are having a hard time transitioning. Our party is gone, another prominent operative said. That's why Republicans ate our lunch. No, they didn't eat your lunch. You crapped the bed. Progressives are certainly looking forward for more attention and trying to use the party's identity crisis in a way that benefits them. AOC and other House Progressive Caucus members are using attention-grabbing tactics, while in the Senate, Senator Bernie Sanders has gone national, tearing through red states and warning his party to wake up. Democrats have been playing dead for too many years. With your help, Bernie, Sanders said during an interview on NBC's Meet the Press. I don't think you play dead. I think you stand up for the working class of this country. When have you? Force the vote. March for Medicare for all. $15 minimum wage increase took place in 2021. And then you went to bat for your good friend Joe Biden when it was already proven that Biden's brain wasn't working. But now it's okay to talk about it. Now it's fine. Sanders' message has been amplified by younger leaders on Capitol Hill, but it's unclear to what end. A recent briefing on Trump's agenda showed just a few liberal lawmakers gathering to oppose all that could happen under Republican control. If their goal is to make noise, it sometimes works, but others on the left feel disappointed with congressional leadership. Those fingers have turned their focus outside. Sometimes we will be for things that seem progressive, said Jamal Simmons, who served as former Vice President Kamala Harris communications director. Oh, wow. Great. He's one of the ones that survived the axe. Sometimes we'll be for things that seem conservative, but they should be common sense. One unlikely force in Democrat politics, business mogul Mark Cuban, also known as Rachel Maddow's clone, who flirted with running for president in 2020 and whose name has been bandied about by Democrats hoping for an outsider, has offered his own theory about why the party free fell. Cuban, ironically, is one billionaire who gets the spirit of the left. He's one of the good billionaires, folks.
He's the antidote to Elon.
One of the good billionaires.
Just got to have more Mark Cuban. I used to like Mark Cuban. I'm so...
Yeah, but now he looks like Rachel Maddow. By the way, Mark Cuban, who also, again, had a wonderful talk with the Hawk Tua girl. Remember, because, she had him on his show, and they talked about meme coins. Hawk Tua, where are you at? In fact, where is she at? I mean, she did make a return, and then she disappeared.
She disappeared again. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. She's taking another nap. He went on to say, it's not about party. It's about leadership. And Democrats have to be proactive in volume. Those are incredibly valuable. We've seen how town hall videos have gone viral and have forced right-leaning media to respond. There has to be nonstop offerings, and they have to be presented not with a political standing in front of a lectern or podium. So in other words, he's saying, they got to be big. But anytime like the Democrats have done like a big podium thing, and when they've been confronted, they dismiss any activists or independents that have been critical of their party. I mean, shout out to Jose Vega, shout out to all the activists and organizers in 2024 that were calling out the Democrats for their failures, especially when you had them asking like, hey, can we call for a ceasefire? Hey, can we end the wars that are happening here? Democrats, why aren't you listening to us? And what did the Democrats do in 2024? They dismissed their people that are being critical of the party. And in turn, that cost them the vote. That cost them the election. And now they're doing stupid meme videos and making memes of themselves. So, Nick, I'm going to give you the final word. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. You know what would be really cool is if they wanted to do that video game pick your fighter thing. What's your policy? What are you fighting for? Let me choose my fighter based on what you're fighting for. And I'm at the point now where you see Nancy Pelosi falls and breaks her hips and needs a walker and a cane. And you see Mitch McConnell's finally decided he's going to go out to pasture. And you look at these guys on both sides, or these Congress people on both sides, and it is like Chuck Schumer too. It is primed for like a hostile takeover right now, because these people are so stuck in the 80s and the 90s that if you use your social media skills and platform, and instead of creating stupid videos that don't mean anything and actually make them about a policy that you're going to push, you could take over this party. But they don't want to do it. They'd rather sit there and be goofballs and try to go viral and make essentially a meme that does nothing, instead of pick a handful of policies and say, this is what we're fighting for. This is why we're taking over the Democratic Party. I mean, it's literally people with broken hips that are 80 plus years old, and they're not doing anything. They're just taking.
I know. You know, and I have to give you the final word on that. It's rather sad that this is where the party has gone. You know, my family has been have been longtime Democrat voters. My grandpa, though, you know, him and I, we just had like this serious come to Jesus moment about the Democrats and how they failed. I mean, I used to really, you know, go to bat for the Democrats. I voted for Obama way back, and I even voted for Bernie Sanders. But after in 2020, seeing as how he capitulated to the DNC, it was like, okay, I can't be associated with this. And since then, I haven't looked back, but I really regret, you know, looking at this party and, dare I say it, supporting it back in the day. And I think we've all had that moment. And it does really hurt to see that you have this older leadership unable to adapt to the times. And when I had my older relatives around still with me, you know, they would say, like, what's going on with the leadership? How come they're not stepping aside for new people, new ideas? What's going on? This is going to come back to haunt them. And it's finally coming to fruition. So I have no remorse or pity. We gave this warning, and to all the operatives that are out there going to bat for the Democrats, what is your policy? Is it impeachment for Trump in 2026? Is it being resistance? What is it? Give us something, because people are still hurting. And the lesson hasn't been learned by the Democrats, but we're in an idiocracy. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'll give you the final word. But here's the thing about Idiocracy. Number one, that was a movie, and number two, the people. It was a movie. It was a documentary. You know, you could say it's a documentary, but the people in that future, I mean, they were victims of their ancestors' stupid mistakes, and we can't go into that. We cannot leave the future in the hands of this party and these incompetent politicians, because if we do, then we're abusers and we're hurting the next generation. And we have to look at something else differently than electoral politics, citizen ballot initiatives, and building movements and organizations not connected to DC. Nick, the final word.
And local. You can have far more impact on your day-to-day life of voting in your local elections and getting involved in your community. Change ain't coming from the top. It's not coming from the right. It's not coming from the left. It's got to come from us. And we have to come together and stop letting the media divide us, and stop letting partisan parties divide us, and come together. And we need a leader who is outside of the system that is going to help us as a collective group of American people say, these are the things we're fighting for, and we're going on a general strike until we get them. And that's the only way that we're going to get real change in this country.
Absolutely. Absolutely, indeed.